With the ball between your shoulder blades, make sure your knees, hips, and shoulders are lined up. Press the dumbbell straight up over your head and allow to return slowly. Starting with the ball between your shoulder blades, knees, hips, and shoulders lined up, and dumbbells directly in front of your chest. Bring your hands down toward the floor and back together in front of the chest. Starting with the exercise ball between your shoulder blades, butt near the heels, press the dumbbells up slowly and return. Starting with the ball between your shoulder blades, butt on the back of the heels, press the dumbbell straight up toward the ceiling.
Start in a push-up position with both hands on the exercise ball. Lower your chest to the ball and press back up. Starting in a push-up position with your knees on the ball, lower your chest to the floor and press back up. Starting in a push-up position with your toes on the ball, lower yourself to the floor and press back up.
Start with your feet shoulder width apart. Lie back on the bench, draw your shoulder blades underneath you. Press the bar straight up to the ceiling and return to the chest. Lying with the exercise ball between your shoulder blades and your body in tabletop position, press the dumbbells straight up toward the ceiling. Allow them to come back down nice and slow. Starting with the ball underneath your shoulder blades, body in tabletop position, raise one dumbbell up over your chest with a slight bend in the elbow. Allow the arm to come out to your side in a flying motion and return right back over the chest. Seated on the bench with feet shoulder width apart, raise dumbbells up to chin height, making sure to keep the stomach muscles contracted to protect the lower spine. Press the dumbbells up over your head, bringing them back down to chin height.
Standing with your feet shoulder width apart, bringing the shoulder blades back in together, drawing the belly button to the lower spine. Curl the bar up towards your chest, making sure the elbows do not leave the back. Come back down nice and slow.
Seated on an inclined bench, draw your shoulder blades back in together and bring your belly button to your lower spine. Lean back and allow the dumbbells to hang toward the floor. Curl the weight up and allow them to come back down slowly.
Holding the bar at waist height with your hands about shoulder width apart, curl your wrists up as far as you can and let it down nice and slow.
Starting with the barbell behind your back, hands about shoulder width apart, curl your wrists upward and let back down nice and slow.
Starting with feet wider than shoulder width apart, toes angled out slightly. Shoulder blades should be back and together, belly button drawn to the lower spine. Pressing your butt back out behind you, squat down into the movement. As you raise up, try to draw your heels together. Come all the way up, focusing on the contraction of the inner thigh and squeezing the glute. Start with your feet shoulder width apart and place the bar on the back of your shoulders. Belly button should be drawn to the lower spine to protect the back. Step sideways away from the body and lunge.
Standing with one foot on the Bosu ball and the other trailing back behind you, making sure your shoulder blades are back and together and your belly button is pulled to your spine. Lower yourself and squat back up. Starting with your shoulder blades back and together, belly button drawn to the lower spine. Place one foot back behind you, standing only on the toes. The weight of your body should be rested on the heel of the front foot. Lower yourself down and press back up. Standing feet about shoulder width apart on an inverted Bosu ball. Dumbbells in your hands at your sides. Draw your shoulder blades back and together and make sure your belly button is pulled to your lower spine. Squatting down slowly and press back up out of the heels. Lying on the floor with your shoulder blades back and together, place your feet up on the medicine ball. Thrusting your hips up toward the ceiling, hold. After a spotted is placed a dumbbell in between your feet. Lower feet toward the floor, stopping with a slight bend in the knee, and curl back up. Lying on the floor, placing your feet on the ball about shoulder width apart. Thrust your pelvis up into the air as high as you can go, making sure your knees, hips, and shoulders are all in line. Extend the legs to straight, now making sure your ankles, knees, hips, and shoulders are all lined up. Draw your heels back in and lower the butt to the floor. Lie flat on the floor and place your hands behind the back of your head. Drawing your belly button down toward your lower spine, raise your shoulder blades up off of the floor. Lying on the exercise ball with it in the small of your back, place your hands behind your neck, and pulling your belly button down toward the floor, crunch.
Lying on the exercise ball with it in the small of your back, place your hands behind your neck, and pulling your belly button down toward the floor, crunch. Seated on the bench with feet shoulder width apart, making sure to keep your abdominals tight to protect your lower back. Bring the dumbbells down at your sides and shrug your shoulders up toward the back of your head. Starting with feet shoulder width apart, shoulder blades drawn back and together, belly button pulled toward the lower spine. Take an overhand grip on the barbell and shrug your shoulders upward toward the ceiling. Starting with both feet on the tension band at the ball of the foot, holding the handles right at your waist. Raise your elbows up till they're even with the ears and hands are just below the chin. Start lying on your back with the arm directly over your chest. Hands should be no wider than shoulder width apart, bending at the elbow, bringing the bar back down to the top of the head and press straight back up toward the ceiling. Start with feet up on the ball, hands below the chest. Keeping the elbows close to the body, lower yourself to the floor and press back up.
Starting with feet shoulder width apart, lean over and use the ball for support. Row the dumbbell upward, making sure the elbow breaks the plane of the back. Ball should be placed between shoulder blades, putting body in tabletop position. One dumbbell should be held in both hands directly over your chest. Keeping your arms straight, you're going to bring the dumbbell up over your head and bring it back out in front of your chest. Starting on your hands and knees, you're going to kick one heel back up toward the ceiling as high as you can. Lie on your back and place one foot on the exercise ball. Cross your other leg over the knee and thrust up as high as you can. Standing with your feet shoulder width apart and your shoulders back and together, belly button pulled to the lower spine. Hold the body bar in one hand, placing it on the back of the opposite leg. Raise your heels straight up toward the ceiling.
Seated on a bench with feet on a raised platform up to the ball of the foot. Dumbbells should be placed over tops of the thighs closer to the knees. Raise up onto your toes and allow heels to lower below the level of the platform.
Standing with feet shoulders width apart, up to the ball of the foot on the platform. Bar should be on the back of your shoulders. Belly button should be pulled into the lower spine to protect the back. Lower your heels and raise up to the toes.
Seat on the floor with your feet flat down on the floor as well. Hold the ball up directly in front of your chest and squeeze. Lean back until your abdominals activate and then twist. Lie on the ball with it right under the small of your back. Raise the dumbbell up with both hands directly over your chest. We're going to rotate to the left just enough to feel your abdominals activate and bring it right back to the right. Taking the Bosu ball and placing it inverted down on the mat with your hands right at the sides. Set up into the push-up position. Bring your chest down to the ball and press. Lying on an incline bench sideways, making sure your knees, hips, and shoulders are in line. Raise the dumbbell upward toward the ceiling, stopping at the plane of the shoulder. Lower the dumbbell slowly and make sure to stop just off of the thigh. Start with the ball directly underneath your belly button. Hand should hang down to the floor with a slight bend in the elbow. Raise the dumbbells up as high as you can and press your belly up against the ball. Come back down. Lie face down on the mat with your toes curled underneath you and your elbows directly beneath your chest. Using your abdominal muscles to draw your body up into a planked position, hold for about 30 seconds. Lying on your back with your feet flat on the floor, reach up and place your hands on the ball above your head. Pulling your belly button down, begin to crunch. Seated on an incline bench with your shoulder blades back and together, bring the dumbbells up to chest height. Press straight up toward the ceiling. Allow to lower slowly. Seated on an incline bench, making sure to have your shoulder blades back and together and your stomach tight. Lower the barbell down to your chest and press back up. Kneeling face down on an incline bench, holding the dumbbells down to the floor with a slight bend in your elbows. You're going to raise the dumbbells upward toward the ceiling, keeping a slight bend in your elbow, and lower slowly toward the floor. Kneeling face down on an incline bench with the dumbbells hanging toward the floor. Raise the dumbbells forwards up to about eye level and allow to lower slowly. Kneeling face down on an incline bench with a barbell in your hands hanging toward the floor. Raise the barbell up to eye height and allow to lower slowly.
Kneeling on an incline bench with a barbell hanging down to the floor, curl the weight upward, making sure to keep the upper arm stationary. Kneeling on an incline bench, holding your dumbbells down toward the floor, curl your hands up, making sure to keep the upper arm stationary. Kneeling face down on an incline bench, holding a dumbbell in one hand. Row the dumbbell upward, making sure the elbow breaks the plane of the back.
Starting by placing one foot on the Bosu ball and trailing the other one back behind you. Put the bar on the back of the shoulders and make sure to keep your abdominals tight to protect the back. Lower yourself to the floor and squat back up. Standing on an inverted Bosu ball with your feet about shoulder width apart, bring your shoulder blades back in together and draw your belly button to your lower spine. Place the barbell on the back of your shoulders and squat. Standing on an inverted Bosu ball with your feet about shoulder width apart, bring your shoulder blades back in together and draw your belly button to your lower spine. Place the barbell on the back of your shoulders and squat. Standing on top of a Bosu ball, draw your shoulder blades back in together and pull your belly button into your lower spine. Arms should be right at your sides. Curl the weight up and allow it to drop back down slowly. Standing on a Bosu ball with your shoulder blades back in together and belly button drawn to your lower spine. Holding a barbell at waist height. Curl the bar upward slowly and allow it to travel back down toward your thighs. Standing on a Bosu ball with your shoulder blades back in together and your belly button tight. Holding onto a tension band, curl your arms up. Standing erect on a Bosu ball, holding onto the handles of the resistance bands at shoulder height, squat down slowly to the floor and press back up. Standing on top of the Bosu ball, keeping your body erect, raise the dumbbells upward, stopping at shoulder height, and lower slowly. Standing on the Bosu ball, lean over at the waist, making sure to keep your back straight. Arms will hang down toward the floor with a slight bend in the elbow.
Raise the dumbbells upward toward the ceiling, making sure the elbows break the plane of the back. Standing on the Bosu ball, lean over at the waist, making sure your back remains straight. Raise the top of the arm up until they're parallel to the floor and extend the hands back. Standing on top of the Bosu ball, lean over at the waist, making sure to keep your back straight. Dumbbells should hang down toward the floor. Row them upward, making sure the elbows break the plane of the back. Lean over at the waist using the ball for support. Hold the dumbbell in one hand and raise the opposite leg up toward the ceiling. Row the dumbbell, making sure the elbow breaks the plane of the back. Lying on a flat bench with your shoulder blades back and together, press the dumbbells upward and allow to come down slowly. Lying on the bench with the dumbbells directly above your chest, bring your arms out to your sides and back together slowly. Start seated on a flat bench with your chest over your thighs. Arms should hang toward the floor with a slight bend in the elbows. Raise the dumbbells up toward the ceiling, making sure the elbows break the plane of the back. Seated on the bench with your back straight, raise the dumbbells upward toward the ceiling and lower slowly. Start seated on a flat bench with your shoulders back and together, keeping your back straight. Raise the dumbbell up over your head, bending only at the elbows, lower the dumbbell to the floor, and extend back toward the ceiling. Start seated on the bench with your back straight. Raise the dumbbell up over your head and brace the arm with the opposite hand. Start seated on the bench with your hands at your sides. Bring your butt off the bench and lower yourself down. Start seated on the bench with your hands right at your sides. Bring your butt off the bench and lower yourself to the floor. Start seated on the bench with your hands right at your sides.
Bring your butt off the bench and lower to the floor.